baseball time again. Spring training kicked off this past weekend, so it felt like the perfect time to bring my first Major League Baseball player to the podcast to get him up to bat. At the time we talked, near the end of 2020, Adam Duvall was a free agent looking for a team despite his tremendous numbers the season before. And what you're going to hear here is a humble but aggressive man working hard to overcome obstacles to keep playing the game he loves. And what do you know? Aggressiveness paid off like it normally does. Just a week or so ago, Adam was signed to the Miami Marlins. He's got something to teach us today about the power of perseverance and hard work. So let's get to the show. Life isn't fair. Not even for those of us who are aggressive, who think that we can control our lives. Life isn't fair. There's very few silver bullets to our problems. Nothing is going to magically make our problems disappear or make the road any less bumpy. Even some of the best folks around us, the most aggressive people, have just awful, crappy seasons to go through. And we have to make the decision, am I going to keep going or am I going to sit here and be in my own little pity party? Life hits all of us in the mouth. That fact is written all over Adam Duvall's story. And as of right now, I think what he and I are going to talk about is actually still evolving. Anyone who makes it to Major League Baseball is a phenom. Adam broke into the league in 2010, drafted by the San Francisco Giants. He spent some time in Cincinnati, being named the National League All-Star Team in 2016. 2018, he was traded to Atlanta. And in this COVID crap truncated 2020 season, Adam got on a tear on September 2nd. He cranked out 3 home runs in one game against the Red Sox. A week later, he did the same thing against the Marlins, except that time, check this out, became the first player in Major League Baseball history to hit a 2-run home run. For those of you who don't know baseball, that means there was one man on base and you hit a home run, meaning 2-run home run, followed by a 3-run home run. For those of you who don't know baseball, that means 2 people on base, 1 person in the batter's box. When he hits the little white ball made of cowhide out of the stadium, that counts for 3, followed by a grand slam. For those of you who don't know baseball, that is when all bases, first, second, and third, are having a person standing on top of them, creating a grand slam. Oh, it is a grand crazy 2-run home run, 3-run home run, grand slam, back to back to back in the same game. Only person to ever do that. He finished the season with a .532 slugging average. That means, boys and girls, when somebody's on base, you hit 532 out of 1,000 times to actually bring in a run. 16 home runs, third in the end. I go on and on and on. Anyway, amazing, amazing, amazing. And yet, in Game 1 of the National League Championship Series, determining who goes to the World Series, Adam was injured in an at-bat, forced to miss the rest of the playoffs. And despite his recent incredible numbers, he was placed in free agency by the Braves. Life isn't fair, but the aggressive keep moving. Adam's a fighter. I can't wait to get into this topic with him. I think Adam, you're the first Major League Baseball player we've interviewed. How are you doing today, Adam Duvall?
I am doing great. Got the family up this morning, got them going. So life is good, even though, we've got this crappy COVID thing going on. So, but we're blessed and we are excited, just to be living another day.
And even though you were in a totally barren and empty house, you were in such financial hard times, you had to sell all your possessions, right? So that's why we have all the echoey with your voice, right? Or have you sold all your possessions and given them to the poor?
I have given some. I have donated some of my possessions that we brought from the old house. So I was excited to do that.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm really excited about today. I don't know if you're excited about it today, but I thought, you know what? We got a Major League Baseball player. That's a first. I'll tell you what else a first. What else a first is me having a chew while I'm doing a podcast. I thought if I could do it with anybody, I could do it with a Major League Baseball player. Do you chew, Adam?
I don't chew. No, that's something that I've never really gotten into. I don't know. Somehow I've escaped, putting that into my mouth. But, I know a lot of guys that do it.
Well, it's in my mouth right now. I thought I would have a chew buddy. but at absolute minimum, it has somebody who, are you judging me right now, Adam? Are you judging me?
I'm not. No, I see it so much that I'm not judging you at all.
That's a bummer. I thought for sure we were going to like have a whole thing on chew, and I was going to ask you what your favorite chew was and ask you your technique of where you put it in your cheek and gum. And I can't have any of those discussions. So, okay. Let's talk baseball. How weird is it what's going on in Major League Baseball right now? As a player's perspective, season shortened, fans not there, noise being pumped in. Just tell us your processing of what baseball's like right now.
Yeah, I think it really hit me when we went back for the second spring training to get ready for the season. When we were at our home stadium in Atlanta instead of the one in Florida, the spring training complex. And, we were scrimmaging ourselves, inter-squadding. And I mean, it's just weird looking up at that huge stadium, seeing 40-something thousand seats that are just empty. And you can hear people talking in the dugout. If the catcher's talking to the pitcher, everybody can hear it. And, there was really no energy that the crowd normally brings to you. There was no adrenaline really to get you going and get you pumped up. So it was more, you had to search within and find it within yourself to get amped up and get pumped up and get ready to go and compete. And, when you lose something, you see how much it meant to you.
Yeah.
And, to have those fans in the stands meant a lot. I mean, it was truly missed this year.
Yeah, I could have made a debate maybe on both sides of the spectrum. I could have debated or thought, I don't know, maybe if they're playing in an empty stadium, maybe they would be able to concentrate better. Maybe they will be looser. I look back on my playing days, which ended when I was like, I don't know what I was, 16, doing the little league, pony league kind of thing. And I look back on that. And it wasn't until I was about 30 that I realized I was holding the bat wrong the entire time. I was strangling the bat, right? It's just it was just like when my golf game. Same thing. As soon as I loosened up my grip, I could get snap out of my wrist. I was like, that's exactly what it was with baseball. That was I'm not saying I would have gone to the pros or whatever. I'm just saying that just you're in a game, you're just clenching with a death grip on that bat so you can't get any snap. And so I thought, I don't know, maybe if you don't have all the adrenaline pumping, maybe you would play better. But you're saying that's not the case.
Yeah, I think where the adrenaline and the energy from the crowd helps is when you got in, you got off a flight at 5 a.m. and then you got to be back at the stadium at 2 for a 7 o'clock game. And then by 7 o'clock, you don't know whether it's day or night. And so that energy from the crowd helps you get up and be able to perform, at your best. So from that aspect, it was very different from the years in the past.
Do you ever find yourself going up to the plate or standing out in the field and saying, oh, hold on here, let me get this straight. I am being paid a lot of money here right now to hit a ball with a bat and to stand in the middle of a field. And a lot of other people who have other jobs are coming to the stadium and paying a lot of money to watch me play a game. Do you ever think about that? Does that sound odd or awkward, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're blessed to be able to play a game that we love for a living. Sometimes that gets overlooked from us players. We're thinking about the slump that we're in, or I just made a bad throw or something. So I think that's something we could probably take a better look at and just kind of pause and take a second and really understand that, how blessed we are and how awesome it is to be in our shoes.
That's awesome. I'm glad you have that perspective, but this is not the guilt pity party life. This is the aggressive life. So I'm not at all trying to go like, who do you think you are? That was a leading question to go, sports are pretty darn important to us. I mean, I'm so tired of the old conversation, how much people are getting paid to play basketball or baseball. I mean, we're looking at this in the wrong way. It's not how much somebody is getting paid. It's how much we're willing to pay them. And really, I think when you boil it down to it, it's what we're willing to pay on to escape our lives to have a distraction, a healthy distraction. What do you think that's the role of sports, or what do you think the sports quotient is that adds value to our lives?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the coolest thing about this season was we were one of the first sports to actually get back going during the COVID crisis. So I think it was really neat in the fact that giving people something to watch on TV and something live to cheer for and something to get attached to, and the passion that people have towards their sports team is unbelievable. I mean, the smack talk that they, have with other teams and other, fans of other teams. And it just, it gets their mind off of what, we're dealing with right now. And I truly hope that we can have fans in the stands next year because I think it'll be electric if they can get back in there and hopefully we're on the right trajectory for that.
All right, you're depressing me right now. You're depressing me. You said, I hope that. You think there's a chance that next season this could be a repeat?
Well, I don't know. I mean, baseball's talking about shortening the season already, and they're saying that they lost a lot of money, but I really want to see fans in the stands next year.
I guess that makes sense. I don't know why I said that. Of course, I mean, we're not going to be out of our COVID meltdown for a while. Spring training is going to be different. Yeah, duh, of course. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like questioning. I'm just going like, my gosh. I'm just Adam, I'm just still grieving all the things that we've lost, and we're not done losing yet. It just sucks. Can you go in the pity party with me? Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously still hitting us, and it's still hitting people pretty hard. But I don't know. We got to try and find the light in something.
Absolutely.
Hopefully with the vaccine and people getting vaccinated and hopefully us learning more about COVID and, hopefully we're on the tail end of this thing.
Now you're talking here and I can watch you on Zoom while we do this. You're smiling like a butcher's dog right now. You just got this like happy attitude. Not that you're happy about COVID, but you seem to have a happy attitude right now. What are you doing to stay positive? You're doing something. School us right now.
Oh, what do you mean right now?
Yeah, well, like, are there disciplines
I'm getting to talk to you. That's pretty positive.
You're so sweet.
Yeah,
it would even be better if you're a real baseball player and had a chew in. I could have a chew brother right now.
Yeah. Ooh, I let you down on that one, didn't you?
You did. You took away all my material, brother. I thought we were going to go compare Copenhagen to Skull and why Grizzly is not worth, the bargain and whatever, all that stuff. But okay.
Yeah. Man.
But no, is there stuff that you're doing?
Next time I'll have a chew with you. How about that?
Will you really? You're gonna start.
Yeah, I will.
You're gonna start chewing just to be on my podcast the second time.
It'll have to be a real small one, or else I'll get lightheaded.
No. Okay, now see this. Now we're getting into stuff. Okay, it's not about the size. Size matters. Here's the thing: when dudes do the real small ones, just do one of the little teabag things. Do one of those little teabags because the thing is, when you do that small one, you can't control it, and it just starts to spread.
Okay.
It starts when it's
that's dangerous.
Yeah, it's got to have enough meat that can be a little ball in there that you can control it. You can take your thumb and pack your tongue and pack it together and keep it from when it spreads on you. Right. That's when you vomit.
Yeah,
we don't want that. You wouldn't be smiling.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to vomit on your podcast. That wouldn't be good.
No, I know you wouldn't. I wouldn't want you to either. But what are you doing seriously to just maintain some spiritual equilibrium right now? I honestly, you seem like you're pretty light right now, and generally it's because somebody has mastered some outlook or they're doing something to keep things in the proper perspective. Can you give us any coaching there?
Yeah, I mean, well, I wake up and I get a workout in the morning. That's one of the biggest things. I find that if I don't work out, I have quite a bit of anxiety throughout the day. And I don't know if it's just the energy that I have that I haven't burnt off or whatever it is, but that's, for me, that's one of the biggest things. Another thing for me that's big is accomplishing something. Whether it's, it doesn't have to be anything huge, but being able to say that, okay, today I did this, looking back on my day and just seeing that I didn't waste it.
That's a good word.
that's important to me.
So let's talk about taking punches right now. You're taking one, at least emotionally. You've had a very promising career. Things have been going pretty darn good for you. And now you're a free agent. For those of you who don't know baseball, that means he doesn't have a job. Now you're free.
Right.
Now you're a free agent and hoping somebody picks you up. I mean, what are you doing to stay positive? And what are you doing to have the right mind space in this strange season of your life?
Yeah. Well, this is the first time I've become a free agent. So, it's a little different in that aspect. But I was probably 90% sure that they were going to, extend me another year, based on the season that I had. But, at the end of the day, I cannot control what they do. All I can control is get up, get baseball work in, and get healthy, and at the end of the day, hopefully someone sees the value in me and picks me up. And then, then I can show them what I've been working on all off season. So, that's my outlook on it. And that's what's keeping me focused.
So I've got to think that you're maybe a master at dealing with disappointment. First of all, just being in baseball, right? I mean, you can make millions of dollars if you strike out or you don't get a hit 7 out of 10 times,
Yeah.
So you could fail 7 out of 10 times and you're still getting on base 3 out of 10 and you're going to make a lot of jack. But that's still a preponderance of times at the plate is you're in failure. You are not having a contract right now. You're just a lot of stuff. So your profession, more than any, probably has more disappointments. School us. What should those of us do who are facing disappointment?
Yeah. I mean, with baseball, like you said, 7 out of 10 times, and you're an unbelievable hitter if you fail 7 out of 10 times. Baseball is a long season. There's 162 games in 182 days. So, you're getting 18 to 20 days off in, 6.5 months or so. Wow. So, it is a physical grind, but it's equally or not more of a mental grind because, you go 0 for 4 last night and then you got to show up the next day and be ready to play. You go 0 for 4 again. You got to show up the next day and be ready. There's very little time to, say, woe is me and have a pity party. It's, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm attracted to the game so much is because the challenge of it. And, if I go 0 for 4 last night, I'm going to show up early tomorrow and try and figure things out and try to work myself out of it. And I think, for people, if they've gotten some bad news or in some type of slump per se in life, is to just try to see the good in things, try to pick out, even if it's just a little speck of something, just to keep you motivated and to keep you going in the right direction. The mind is powerful, man. The mind is pretty crazy. And if you can get that thing working in the right direction, it can not only make you feel better, but it can really turn things around for you, in life as well.
One of my favorite Bible verses, I think, is one of the most potent, and I like it in the old school King James version. The way they put it is out of Proverbs. It says, "As a man thinketh, so is he." Mm-hmm. So, if we're thinking that we're going to strike out, we're going to strike out. Yeah. If we're thinking that we're going to be depressed as a result of COVID, we're going to be depressed. If we're thinking mm-hmm. those things, I'm just getting more in touch with the power of self-talk, which, man, I can't believe I'm saying this, but never I heard people talk about self-talk before. It just seems like there are a bunch of people who love to sit around and pick posies and philosophize about life. It just seems so weird, but it just makes sense. When your dad or someone who cares about you says to you, "You're a loser, you're never going to amount to anything," that voice affects you. When someone criticizes you and tells you that was a stupid thing to do, what were you thinking? That affects you. Well, when we use that voice on ourselves and I say, "I am stupid, what was I thinking?" That affects us. We're literally bringing ourselves down based on our thoughts. We have to take control of our thoughts, because as we think, so are we. If I think this podcast is going to suck, it's going to suck. If I think no one's going to listen to me, no one's going to listen to me. If I think it's a huge, huge deal. And I think that you've got a lot to teach us here, because your stuff that has been significant. You also have a medical issue. You're diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. What was it like that when that voice came your way?
Yeah. So that was my second year in pro ball. And, I'm going through the off season. I'm working out, training hard, and I start to lose weight. And I'm thinking, man, I'm eating a lot and really working out hard. I shouldn't be losing weight like I am. And by the time I got to spring training, I'd lost 20 pounds.
Wow.
And man, I remember going in and I was pulling 2-a-days. I was working out twice a day. And I remember walking in to the training room where we were doing our physicals, and I was almost embarrassed about the way my body looked, as far as they probably thought I hadn't done anything all off season. I was skin and bones. And, so then we do some blood tests and it came back that I was, type 1, and I didn't know what diabetes was. To me, diabetes was something that, unhealthy people had. And, that's not always the case with type 1, it's genetics. So, it was important for me to try to learn as much as I could, as fast as I could. And, so that I could continue to play, baseball and be able to do well at it at the same time.
You made the decision to go into this season when you knew that as a type 1 diabetic, you were in the high risk category for COVID. Why did you make that decision to keep pressing on even though you were high risk?
To me, I felt somewhat of an obligation to my teammates, because, I knew that we were going to have a good year. I knew that we were going to be good. I knew that there were some challenges to face, but, I think when you have something to focus on, and when you have something that means a lot to you, I think it can be such a blessing, because I knew that there were, 35 of the other people in the locker room, so that, I had to be very, very careful that I didn't get it and take it into the locker room and give it to everybody else, and then them give it to their family. And that gave me something to focus on and something to really, I guess, watch what I was doing. And I could have been at home sitting on the couch and gotten it just as easy as if I was, if I did when I was playing. So I think that was one of the things that I looked at and, spoke with my family and talked with them, and they were all for it. So I was excited to play as well.
Yeah, that's a big deal though, man. Taking that kind of risk, it shows that you have a toughness about you, a significant. I know you didn't do that for the paycheck, though the paycheck is always nice, but there's just a toughness about you. I love that.
Yeah.
So let's do a little lightning round. Do you think you can handle a lightning round? I'm gonna throw some fastballs. I'm gonna throw some fastballs your way, and you get to take one cut at it. And one cut means like you get a sentence or two. That's it. You get a sentence or two. Okay. You don't get to philosophize and do it. It's like bam. Are you up for the lightning? Are you up for the fastball round, Adam Duvall?
I like fastball, so go ahead and hit me with it.
All right, here we go. Favorite moment of your Major League Baseball career?
I think it would be my first home run and seeing my family and friends as excited as they were.
That's great. Pitcher you hate facing off against?
Clayton Kershaw.
Greatest pitcher of all time, and then I'll let you go longer as to why.
Oh, man. Nolan Ryan.
Why?
Well, I think the longevity of his career and how dominant he was for, 20-something seasons, I think. I mean, to think that somebody could play that long and be dominant that long. I mean, you see guys now, and it seems like 10 years and they're dinosaurs. They've been around. It feels like they've been around forever. So, I think he was probably, and just to hear coaches that have played against him talk about him. I mean, it was something special. I mean, the intimidation factor that he brought was, they talked about how, you don't dig when you're facing Nolan Ryan, you don't dig into the box. You get in there and you're ready. You can't, he tells you when he's ready, basically. and just the stories that I've heard is, he would walk up and before the game and say, there's no bunting. You're not going to bunt today. Things like that. Really? It's like, my goodness, things that you don't see today. It was a different game back then. So, I think he's probably one of the best for me.
All right, let's get back to the lightning round. The key to silencing your nerves for a big at bat.
Taking a deep breath.
These answers are so good. I want to ask on it, but I'll let that one go. That's great. If you could play with any Major League Baseball All-Star, alive or dead, who would it be?
Babe Ruth.
Why?
So I have a little card that I have in my wallet, and it says, "Don't be afraid of striking out." Babe Ruth simultaneously led Major League Baseball in strikeouts and home runs. So, that's just a little message to me saying, don't be afraid to be aggressive. Don't be afraid to swing for the fences. You may strike out, but you also have a chance of hitting a home run. So I think that's, that's a cool little message. Dude, that I keep with me.
That is powerful. That's why you're a great guest on The Aggressive Life. That's the whole point of this podcast, boys and girls. That's the whole point of this podcast. Everybody is convincing us to play it safe. Safety is rule number one. No, safety is not rule number one. Be safe. But if safety is rule number one for you, you're not going to hit anything. Hey, if you want to be safe, never step in the batter's box.
Yeah.
We don't remember Babe Ruth for all the mistakes he made. We remember from the home run.
Exactly.
Hey, folks.
Exactly.
Hey, folks, you won't be remembered for the mistakes that you make. There's some mistakes that are awful. Having an adulterous affair, that's an awful one. I mean, those are gonna sting big. But holistically, our life is going to be defined by the big cuts that we take, not the many failures that we have. That's great.
Right.
Adam, you're a good man. It's been just great spending a little time with you today. Any final info you want to give us on you in terms of what if someone wants to follow up with you or they want to watch what's going on? This is your time to give us an advertisement for yourself or in your social media feeds or books you got coming or anything like that.
No books coming in the near future. I'm actually off of social media for the time being. And, if you want to help out with diabetes, JDRF, I work with JDRF some. And if you wanted to help donate to a cause, you can go to their website, jdrf.org, and, just spread the message and be able to help out with diabetes. So.
Adam, we've learned a lot from you today, a lot, not just in interesting insider things that are in baseball, but just a lot about how to deal with punches and how to deal with stuff that you don't want, whether it's medical diagnoses or career change or changes in, your employment and just a lot, man. So I'm proud of you. I'm thankful for you, and thanks for building into the Aggressive Life community.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
All right, boys and girls, there you have it. Our first Major League Baseball player. Maybe not our last, and maybe not our last time with Adam Duvall, because you heard it here. You heard it here. If he's on again, he's going to have a chew. We're going to break him in. The preacher is going to teach the baseball player how to chew. So until then, learn from Adam. Take some swings. Go swing for the fences. Come on, you only have one life. You only have one life. Make it count. Honor God with your best. Make the aggressive move. This has been The Aggressive Life. Hey, thanks for listening. For more aggressive living, head over to briantome.com. Get signed up for the mailing list to get regular shots of positive aggression sent straight to your inbox. And while you're there, you can also find articles, podcasts, and books. I'm also active on Instagram. Search Brian Tome. Special thanks to the band judges for the music. The Aggressive Life with Brian Tome is a production of Crossroads Church, Cincinnati, Ohio.